Have you ever wondered what life would be like for a famous person with two tools each measuring 13 inches in length? Would he become a sought-after figure by countless women, or someone too insecure to ever experience love? Or imagine living without a heart for 555 days. Would you still dare to run or play sports? This may sound unsettling, but it's not the storyline of a horror film. These are just a few of the 19 real-life stories of black celebrities that I'm about to reveal. Are you prepared for these bizarre tales? Brace yourself, because the unusual body parts we're about to explore will leave you shocked. 1. Waris Dirie, the African supermodel carrying the painful genital scar for life. Waris Dirie, a renowned supermodel famous for her stunning beauty and graceful presence on the runway, carries a painful story hidden behind her glamorous life. As an African woman, Waris endured a horrific experience, genital mutilation, a brutal ritual that not only harms the body but also shatters the spirit of many girls in disadvantaged communities. When I was just 5 years old, my mother forced me to undergo genital mutilation, a practice considered an unbreakable tradition for Somali girls to ensure they remain virgins until marriage. It felt like someone was cutting off your flesh or chopping off your arm. The pain was indescribable because it's the most sensitive part of a woman's body. Waris shudders as she recalls. It wasn't just the physical pain, the greater loss was losing control over her own body. Waris never forgot that moment, even as the years passed. What's truly remarkable, though, is that she refused to let that scar define her life in the most tragic way. She broke free from the oppression, left her difficult past behind, and moved to London to start anew as a supermodel. But beneath her success, no one knew about the deep emotional scars she carried. Waris knew she could no longer remain silent about the traumatic tradition she endured. If she didn't speak up, who would? She began to share her painful story openly, and not only did it shock the media, but it also inspired millions of women around the world, urging them to challenge these cruel practices. Waris didn't stop there. She became a strong advocate against genital mutilation, launching campaigns and convincing mothers to protect their daughters from this harmful path. One of the most touching stories was that of a little girl in a poor African village. Thanks to Waris' courage, the girl's mother chose not to have her undergo genital mutilation, and the girl later became a doctor. Waris didn't just save one life, she sparked hope for millions. As she once proudly said, "My scar is not just pain, it is a flame of revolution. I don't live to hide it, I live to turn it into hope for others." 2. Khoudia Diop, the melanin goddess who illuminates the world. A woman with skin as deep and dark as velvet steps into a cafe in Paris. The lights inside don't diminish her exceptional complexion, they only enhance its glow, resembling a living masterpiece. This is Khoudia Diop, the woman with the darkest skin on earth, a globally recognized supermodel who transformed her remarkable appearance into a powerful force, defying conventional beauty standards. Yet beneath her flawless surface lies a history of pain and struggle. Raised in Senegal, Khoudia faced cruel nicknames like Darkness, Black Hole, and even Demon. Every time she stepped outside, she was met with mockery from both peers and adults. Her dark skin became the target of thoughtless jokes. One man once remarked, "Your skin looks like it's never seen the sun." These words haunted her throughout her difficult childhood, and all she wanted was to escape, to find a place free from judgment. At 17, Khoudia left Senegal for France, hoping to find a place where she wouldn't be ridiculed. However, in this new land, she felt even more alone. Her dark skin still attracted attention, and her sense of isolation grew. One day, while crying in a park, a man approached her. He was a fashion photographer. "Your skin is stunning. I've never seen anyone like you," he said. Surprised, Khoudia initially thought he was making fun of her, but the photographer gently explained that she possessed a rare, extraordinary beauty and invited her to a photo shoot. Khoudia's first photo shoot quickly gained traction on social media. She became the melanin goddess, but this time, the attention wasn't mocking. Her skin, once a source of rejection, was now a symbol of beauty's diversity. The fashion world embraced her, and Khoudia Diop rose to fame as an international supermodel, reshaping global beauty standards. At a New York fashion show, Khoudia met a young black girl backstage who shyly handed her a drawing of her as a goddess. "You're the reason I no longer hate my skin," the girl said, tears in her eyes. Khoudia knelt, took the girl's hand, and said, "This skin isn't just mine, it's yours, it's ours. Never let anyone tell you it's not beautiful." From being mocked as darkness, Khoudia Diop turned her dark skin into a source of light, inspiring hope for anyone who has ever been marginalized for their differences. 3. Mahogany Geter, the elephant leg model who redefined the runway. Mahogany Geter took the runway by storm, her large leg, caused by lymphedema, standing out against her elegant frame and impressive height. The lights didn't just highlight her beauty, but they also illuminated a powerful story of self-assurance and unwavering resolve. As a child, Mahogany faced not only physical pain but also emotional anguish. Her left leg, swollen unnaturally due to lymphedema, became a constant target for mockery. She was given cruel nicknames like One-Legged Monster and Elephant Leg. One day, during a school field trip, a boy taunted her, "Look at her. One leg for soccer, the other as a goalpost." The laughter of her peers pierced her heart, and all she could do was hang her head in shame. Little did she know that the leg she once hated would one day define her and propel her to fame. At 18, Mahogany wandered the streets, avoiding the gaze of onlookers. One day, a photographer stopped her and said, "I've never seen anyone like you. You're extraordinary." That moment marked a turning point. She agreed to have a few pictures taken, and they quickly went viral, not as ridicule, but as a celebration of her bold beauty and confidence, despite her unconventional leg. Soon, major fashion brands reached out to her. But Mahogany wasn't content with just fame. She used her platform to raise awareness about lymphedema and advocate for others with similar struggles. At a community event, a young boy with lymphedema asked, "Did you ever wish you didn't have that leg?" Mahogany smiled warmly, bent down, and gently placed her hand on his shoulder, saying, "There was a time I hated it. But now I see that this leg doesn't make me weak. It's what makes me strong. You'll find strength in yours too." That large leg became more than a physical characteristic. It stood as a symbol of transforming perceived flaws into strength and walking with confidence through life's challenges. 4. Double Penis Man, the man with two tools and the courage to choose. John, known online as Double Penis Man, was born with a rare condition, two tools. But his story is more than just about this physical trait. It's about his journey to accept his body and challenge societal norms. Growing up, John always felt different. While others shared stories of their first crushes, he stayed silent. During a high school sex ed class, when the teacher talked about normal anatomy, John realized he wasn't like anyone else. From that moment, insecurity became his constant companion. At 16, he confided in his mother about his shame. She embraced him and said, "You're not a monster, John. You're my treasure." Her words brought light to his dark world. As an adult, John sought answers about his condition. He consulted with doctors and joined medical studies. After thorough research, physicians suggested surgery to remove one of his tools for a simpler personal life. It was a tough choice, but John decided to keep his body as it was. He shared his decision on social media. "I'm not a mistake of nature. I am me, with all the unique things my body carries." His post went viral, reaching millions and inspiring others dealing with body insecurities. John didn't just accept himself, he helped others see that being different doesn't diminish their worth. His two tools are no longer seen as oddities, but as symbols of strength, confidence, and defiance against societal judgment. John stepped out of the shadows of shame, becoming a beacon of self-love and triumph over criticism. 5. Denzel Washington, the crooked pinky that conquered Hollywood. Denzel Washington, a legendary Hollywood actor, is admired not only for his talent but also for a distinctive feature, a pinky finger bent at a 45-degree angle. While it may seem unusual to some, for Denzel, it serves as a symbol of overcoming obstacles. From a young age, Denzel was teased about his crooked finger. During basketball games, his friends would joke, "Your finger's pointing the wrong way. How can you make a shot with that? Although embarrassed, Denzel used the teasing as motivation to work harder. Every shot, every hour of practice was a step toward proving that his crooked finger didn't define his potential. One day, when he made a game-winning three-pointer, the same friend who had mocked him exclaimed, "That crooked finger must be your lucky charm." As Denzel embarked on his acting career, the insecurity about his finger lingered. During his first audition, a director bluntly told him, "You're talented, but I can't stop looking at your finger." It might distract the audience. Though disheartened, Denzel didn't let this stop him. He poured his energy into perfecting his craft, channeling every emotion into his roles. The crooked pinky, once seen as a flaw, became a striking feature in dramatic scenes. In one powerful moment, as his character pointed accusingly, the bent finger drew the audience's attention. When Denzel won his Oscar, he stood proudly on stage, trophy in hand, and addressed the world. "They said this crooked finger would hold me back. But it taught me that what matters is not how you look, but how you use what you've got to succeed." Denzel's bent pinky is no longer just a physical oddity, it is now a symbol of resilience, self-acceptance, and turning perceived flaws into strengths. 6. Damon Wayans, the bow-legged comedian who conquered the stage. Damon Wayans, a comedy icon, is celebrated not only for his talent but also for a secret weapon few could predict, his naturally bow-legged stance. Rather than holding him back, this unique feature became a defining part of his persona, allowing him to shine in a way only he could. Growing up in a poor neighborhood, Damon often watched kids play soccer on bumpy streets. With his bent legs, he could only stand on the sidelines. The teasing from his peers stung deeply. "Hey, Damon, should we call a plumber to fix those pipes you call legs?" Such comments haunted him for years, leaving a lasting scar. Yet, instead of retreating, young Damon found a way to fight back, with humor. Every time he was ridiculed, Damon didn't respond with tears, but with jokes that left his peers in stitches. "Yeah, they're arguing about whether to run toward success or kick you in the butt." Soon, no one noticed his legs, they were too busy laughing at his sharp wit. As he grew older, Damon refused to let his physical condition prevent him from pursuing comedy. One night, while performing at a small venue, he tripped and fell into the audience. The room fell silent, and it seemed like his career might be over. But Damon didn't hesitate. He jumped back up, slapped his knee, and quipped, "See? I don't just make people laugh, I bring the show right to your seat." The audience roared with laughter. What could have been a disaster turned into a defining moment. His bow legs, once a source of insecurity, became a feature that set him apart, solidifying his place among comedy legends. Damon's influence went beyond the stage. He returned to his old neighborhood, hosting free comedy shows and inspiring kids facing their own struggles. At one event, a boy asked him, "Mr. Damon, if your legs weren't bowed, would you still be a comedian?" Damon smiled, knelt down, and responded, "Maybe I'd still be a comedian, but I wouldn't understand the power of laughter. These legs don't just hold me up, they keep me steady when the world tries to knock me down." 7. Joseph Williams, born without a jaw, but driven by a passion for music. Joseph Williams isn't just a skilled DJ, he's a beacon of resilience. Born without a lower jaw due to otofacial syndrome, his life has been marked by constant challenges. Though he depends on feeding tubes and communicates through sign language, Joseph has never allowed his condition to hold him back. Instead, he used it as motivation to show that music isn't defined by a voice, it's driven by a heart that listens. As a child, Joseph often felt out of place in a world that valued appearances. The stares and whispers behind his back were painful. At a school event, when Joseph tried to join a group of kids listening to music, one boy sneered, "What are you doing here? Music isn't for people who can't sing or talk." But rather than letting the comment defeat him, it ignited his resolve. Music doesn't need a voice, it needs a soul, he thought. Determined, Joseph pursued his dream of becoming a DJ. It wasn't easy. Initially, it seemed like everything was against him. His hands weren't used to the turntables, he had to lip-read his mentors, and the learning curve was steep. But Joseph never thought about quitting. Night after night, he practiced every beat and melody, committed to mastering the craft. His breakthrough came when a small neighborhood bar gave him the chance to perform. With low expectations, Joseph took the stage with unwavering confidence. As the music started, the room went quiet. Eyes full of curiosity, whispers filled the air, but Joseph stayed focused. He closed his eyes and let the rhythm guide him. The beats, the flows, the crescendos, all built an emotional landscape that captivated the audience. When the final note faded, the room erupted in applause. Joseph didn't need to speak, his music said everything. Today, Joseph Williams is a celebrated DJ, admired not just for his skill but for his inspiring story. One day, a young woman wrote to him, sharing how she once felt ashamed of a large scar on her neck. After hearing his story, she decided to follow her dream of becoming an actress. Joseph has proven that no matter the challenges, passion and dedication to your craft can make anything possible. 8. Stan Larkin, 555 Days Without a Heart, a Miracle of Medicine and Determination. Stan Larkin was a healthy teenager until he collapsed during a basketball game at 16. The diagnosis revealed familial cardiomyopathy, a genetic heart condition that thrust him into a fight for his life. Few could imagine surviving without a natural heart, but Stan proved the impossible wrong. His story became a remarkable testament to resilience when he received an artificial heart device that would sustain him for 555 days. When doctors told Stan that his heart was beyond repair, his only option was a device as large as a backpack, functioning as his artificial heart. Miraculously, it kept him alive. However, living with the device wasn't easy. The constant whirring sound it made with every movement made him feel like an alien. But Stan refused to let it limit his life. Determined to live fully, he continued playing basketball, jogging, and even traveling. Friends and family expressed concern. "You don't have a heart. How can you keep going?" they asked. But Stan remained resolute. "I don't have a natural heart, but I have the heart of a fighter," he replied. Every step on the court, with the device humming in his ears, was a testament to his unwavering spirit. After 555 days of determination, Stan finally received a donor heart. The long surgery hours ended in tears of joy when his new heart began to beat. Now fully recovered, Stan dedicates his life to inspiring others. He speaks not only of the wonders of medical science, but also about the deeper meaning of life, how challenges shape us, not what we have. Stan Larkin's incredible journey proves that even without a natural heart, courage and the power of technology can keep us alive and thriving. 9. Caleb Mutambo, the bodybuilder with a shaky past. Caleb Mutambo, a young African man, was born with sickle cell disease, a condition that left him weak, fatigued, and in constant pain. Instead of succumbing to his frail body, he turned his struggle into motivation to rise above it. However, what many don't know is that Caleb didn't just battle his illness, he also fought against societal prejudice. When Caleb began, no one believed in him. People laughed, saying he'd never be able to pursue bodybuilding. His condition made it nearly impossible to engage in regular sports, let alone lift weights or handle significant loads. But Caleb didn't care. He decided to start training in his small room, with no special equipment or professional coach. Everyday objects like water bottles, wooden chairs, and rice bags became his training tools. Despite the pain and exhaustion, Caleb never gave up. "Weakness isn't destiny, it's a choice," he would remind himself. On competition day, Caleb stepped onto the stage. His physique wasn't as massive as his competitors, but his resilience left the crowd speechless. The same people who had once mocked him could now only watch in awe. Although he didn't take first place, Caleb received a special award for his unyielding fighting spirit. His story quickly spread, inspiring thousands. Caleb Mutambo proved that true strength comes from within, from the determination to never back down, no matter the illness or obstacle. He didn't just change his life, he changed the way the world views strength and victory. 10. Ben Underwood, the blind boy who beat darkness with superpower. Ben Underwood, an ordinary boy from Sacramento, California, was faced with an unimaginable challenge at just 2 years old when a rare disease caused him to lose his eyesight. But instead of succumbing to darkness, Ben did something few could have imagined. He saw the world in a way that most could only dream of, not through his eyes, but through echolocation, a skill even experienced blind people rarely master. By the time he was 3, Ben began to discover this incredible ability. He didn't just identify objects around him through sound, he used them to perceive his environment as if he had a second pair of eyes. A clap, footsteps, or any noise became markers for Ben's spatial awareness. Like bats using ultrasound, Ben turned echoes into a 3D map in his mind, allowing him to see everything around him without using his eyes. Once he realized his unique gift, Ben didn't just learn to walk, he played basketball, rode bikes, and even played video games, all thanks to echolocation. He practiced every day, using his ability to break through every obstacle. When asked if he feared falling, Ben simply smiled and said, "Fear is instinct. But overcoming it is courage." His response left everyone in awe and inspired. However, in 2009, at just 16 years old, Ben faced another battle, this time with cancer. Despite his courage, Ben was unable to defeat the disease. Yet, his story continues to inspire. He became a symbol of inner strength and unyielding resilience. In life's darkness, Ben proved that true light comes not from the eyes, but from the heart and the will to never give up. 11. Troy James, the horror actor with spine-chilling flexibility. Troy James, a famous horror actor, is not someone you would meet in everyday life. With his extraordinary flexibility, he can twist his body into poses and movements that most people would only dare to see in horror films. But behind his strange appearance lies a story of relentless training and a life full of challenges. As a child, Troy was given odd nicknames by his peers, Scorpion Man or Pipe Guy. His incredible flexibility allowed his joints to bend in ways that seemed impossible, making him appear alien-like to those around him. Other kids kept their distance, but instead of succumbing to loneliness, Troy turned his uniqueness into a strength. He made it his mission to train, not only to perfect his flexibility, but to gain complete control over his body in ways others couldn't. One day, during an audition for Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, Troy stunned the judges with his grotesque contortion skills. His body seemed to stretch past natural limits, his joints bending at unnatural angles, and his movements were like a monster from another world. He not only left everyone speechless, but also conveyed a terrifying presence through every motion, leaving viewers unable to look away. However, every day Troy still battles his own insecurities. His eerie on-screen appearances often make him feel as though he only belongs in the world of horror, where being different is the norm. But one day, during an interview, a fan shared a story, "I've always been bullied for being small and weak. But seeing you made me realize no one can define who I am except for me." That statement sparked something inside Troy. He realized he didn't need to change to fit into the world. His uniqueness, his unusual flexibility, was what made him stand out. Troy James is not just a horror actor, he is a symbol for anyone who has ever felt out of place. Being different isn't something to hide, it's a strength to overcome prejudice. 12. Ralph Souffrant, the Haitian model with freckles who became a symbol. Ralph Souffrant, a model of Haitian descent, has made the world rethink the definition of beauty. Unlike the flawless skin often seen in typical models, Ralph proudly embraces his face covered in freckles, something many consider a flaw. His childhood was far from easy. The brown spots on his skin made him an easy target for ridicule. His peers called him names like leopard and tiger, mocking him every time they saw his face. These taunts made Ralph self-conscious, causing him to hide his freckles in an attempt to make them disappear. However, as he grew older and learned to ignore the hurtful remarks, Ralph came across a poster for a modeling contest. He wondered, could I try? Would they accept someone like me? That thought grew stronger as he looked at his well-proportioned physique. Soon after, Ralph entered the contest. What was unexpected was that he didn't try to hide his freckles. Instead, he embraced them, proudly displaying his uniqueness. He motivated himself by saying, "They're part of me, and I won't hide them. I want people to accept me for who I am." As he walked the runway for the first time, all eyes were on him, filled with curiosity. But Ralph didn't care. He walked with confidence, each step making a statement that true beauty lies in individuality. When the contest results were announced, the winner wasn't the model with flawless skin or perfect legs, it was Ralph. He didn't just win the competition, he broke down traditional standards of beauty. "I'm not a perfect model, but I'm my own model. I'm proud of my skin, and I'll never hide what makes me unique," Ralph said. His words changed not only how people saw him, but also how they viewed beauty itself. Today, Ralph is not just a renowned model, but also a symbol for those who are different. He has shown that real beauty isn't found in rigid physical standards, but in confidence and self-acceptance. Every time Ralph steps onto the runway, his freckled skin is like a crown, proving that being different isn't a flaw, it's a gift. 13. Winnie Harlow, the international model with extraordinary black and white skin. Winnie Harlow has become a prominent figure in international fashion, not because of flawless skin or a perfect figure like many models. She's different, and that difference has made her a symbol of confidence and self-empowerment. Her dark skin, uniquely patterned with white patches caused by vitiligo, stands out. Rather than hiding them, Winnie embraced these patches as a powerful asset, shining brightly on the runway. As a child, Winnie faced harsh stares and cruel taunts. Peers called her a strange bird, treating her as though she didn't belong. The white patches on her skin made her feel like an outsider, a peculiar figure everyone wanted to avoid. There were moments when she felt overwhelmed by the scrutiny, wishing to escape her differences. But with time, Winnie stopped trying to erase her white patches. She began to see them as a unique part of her identity. Her family's words echoed in her mind, "If everyone looked the same, we wouldn't be human anymore. We'd just be clones of each other." This perspective fueled her to turn her insecurities into strengths. When she entered the fashion industry, Winnie refused to conform to conventional beauty standards. She auditioned for a casting where other models showcased flawless, even-toned skin. Curious and skeptical eyes were on her. Despite some doubt, Winnie drew strength from her differences. Each white patch on her body symbolized her individuality. After the audition, the room was silent. Moments later, the designer chose her. His words changed her life forever. "You are a work of art." Sometimes, beauty comes from imperfection. That's real beauty. Today, with a successful career, Winnie is more than a famous model, she's an inspiration to millions. She has redefined beauty in the fashion industry and has become a beacon of diversity and the power of uniqueness. 14. Mekhi Lucky, 2 unique eyes and a second life. Mekhi Lucky stands apart from the crowd, and it's this very difference that allowed him to rise from a troubled past to a thriving career. A model with 2 strikingly unique eyes, one blue and one dark brown, Mekhi captures attention wherever he goes. But his story is about much more than his appearance. It's a tale of redemption, as he overcame a life once consumed by poor choices. Raised in a broken home, Mekhi was soon drawn into a world of destructive decisions. His youth was filled with violence, crime, and street fights. After being arrested for a brawl, Mekhi faced potential prison time and a grim future. People around him doubted he could ever break free from the cycle of self-destruction. But something miraculous occurred as he sat in jail, looking out the window. He realized that life was moving on outside, and he could still be part of it. His heterochromatic eyes became a symbol of hope, guiding him toward a brighter path. Upon his release, Mekhi was determined to turn his life around. He enrolled in a modeling class, disregarding the teasing about his mismatched eyes. At his first casting, he exuded confidence and captured the room's attention. Just a month later, Mekhi was invited to model for an international brand, a turning point that transformed his life. Mekhi didn't just become a runway star, he became a symbol of personal transformation. His journey proves that no matter how often we stumble, we can always rise and shine again. He inspires others who've lost their way, showing that his unique eyes are not just a physical trait but a powerful symbol of change, strength, and the possibility of a brighter future. 15. Usain Bolt, the lanky legs that became the world's fastest. Usain Bolt, the world record holder for both the 100 meters (9.58 seconds) and 200 meters (19.19 seconds), is a global symbol of speed. Yet, his path to greatness was far from typical. As a child, Usain wasn't the star athlete in gym class. His unusually long legs earned him the nickname Stilts from his friends. His running form appeared awkward and clumsy, leading many to believe he would never outrun anyone. But Usain knew that his speed wasn't meant to be conventional. He was destined to redefine what it meant to run fast. In high school, a coach recognized the potential in Usain's unique running style. Instead of trying to make him run like everyone else, the coach helped Usain focus on how to use his long legs to their full advantage, turning each stride into a powerful, efficient force. During a local competition in Jamaica, Usain stunned the crowd with his incredible speed and the length of his strides. What once seemed like an awkward trait was now his secret weapon, propelling him to break national records. That was just the beginning. Usain's incredible talent continued to shine on the world stage, where he shattered records and exceeded expectations. His world records of 9.58 seconds in the 100m and 19.19 seconds in the 200m were more than just numbers. They became symbols of his unmatched power. What had once been seen as a disadvantage, his long, lanky legs, became his greatest strength, cementing Usain Bolt's place as the fastest man in history. But beyond his victories, Usain's legacy carries a deeper message. No matter how unusual or different your traits may seem, learning to embrace them can lead to extraordinary achievements. 16. Stephen Wiltshire's The Astonishing Story of the Human Camera. Stephen Wiltshire, an autistic artist with an extraordinary ability to recreate intricate landscapes from memory, has become an iconic figure. He is not just an artist, but a living testament to what many consider impossible. In 1987, Stephen entered an international art competition where he was challenged to draw London from memory. While others struggled with basic perspectives, Stephen saw it as an opportunity to demonstrate his rare gift. He meticulously recreated the city, capturing everything from the busiest streets to the most obscure corners, all with exceptional accuracy. His drawing wasn't merely art, it was a vivid representation of a world he experienced through his remarkable memory and unique viewpoint. When Stephen's work was revealed, it captivated everyone. A miniature, precise version of London came to life on the paper, as though the city had been preserved through the mind of a human without the use of technology. Every building, shadow, and reflection was perfectly captured. The true wonder wasn't just in his memory, it was in how Stephen, as an autistic individual, could translate his often difficult-to-communicate world into something tangible and relatable. For him, drawing was more than artistic expression, it was his way of engaging with the world, a connection words alone couldn't convey. Stephen's incredible talent has turned him into a symbol of perseverance and uniqueness. His drawings are not just art, they are testaments of patience, resilience, and viewing the world through a different lens. For Stephen, each line he draws tells a story that may seem abstract at first, but unfolds into a vibrant, beautiful world when seen through the eyes of the human camera. 17. Richard Sandrak, The Little Hercules and the Journey to Overcome the Burden of Muscles. Richard Sandrak, known as the Little Hercules, shocked the world when, at just 6 years old, he could lift weights that rivaled those of adult athletes. His well-defined muscles were visible beneath his skin, drawing gasps from everyone who saw him. People marveled, this kid is unlike any other. But the true story behind his incredible physique is more startling. Richard wasn't naturally athletic. He was pushed into an intense and grueling training regimen, leaving him with little time to enjoy being a child. Though he could lift twice his body weight, he longed for the simple joys that every young person should experience. Richard's daily life was ruled by a rigid training schedule that left no room for rest or play. His father and trainer enforced this strict regimen, denying him the chance to engage in typical childhood activities like soccer or fun games with friends. Despite his physical strength, Richard's emotional needs were ignored, and he felt isolated, unable to connect with others his age. One day, after yet another exhausting session, Richard asked himself, "Am I truly happy?" That question opened his eyes to the truth. The relentless training and his father's unyielding expectations had taken everything from him: his happiness, his freedom, and his connection to a normal life. His strength wasn't just in his muscles, but in his realization that he needed to reclaim his childhood and happiness. Richard made a life-changing decision. He stepped away from the competitive world of sports to rediscover the joys of a carefree childhood. The relief was immense, as if a heavy weight had been lifted from his shoulders. While he still maintained his fitness, Richard learned that true strength comes not only from physical power, but from inner peace and balance. He didn't need to be little Hercules to prove his worth. His journey is a powerful reminder that real strength lies in understanding yourself and living a life that truly fulfills you. 18. Zion Clark, the legless athlete who set a world record. Zion Clark was born without legs due to caudal regression syndrome, but his incredible journey defied all expectations. From the moment he was born, Zion was confronted with challenges that most people can't even fathom. As a child, Zion often felt like an outsider. While other kids ran, jumped, and played, he could only watch from the sidelines, wishing he could join. In gym class, he was left behind, isolated from the activities that seemed so natural for others. But at the age of 12, everything changed. One day, Zion watched a wrestling match on TV, and in that moment, a spark of determination ignited within him. He thought, "Why not?" That was the beginning of his extraordinary journey into the world of wrestling. Zion may have lacked legs, but he possessed an unwavering willpower that no one could take from him. Every day, he trained with relentless dedication, facing obstacles few could understand. Tough workouts and difficult matches didn't stop him, even when others doubted his potential. His goal was clear: to prove that nothing is impossible. Then, the unimaginable happened. Zion didn't just compete in wrestling tournaments, he set a world record, earning the admiration of people everywhere. His triumph became a symbol of inspiration, not just for his family, but for millions around the world. Zion's story is a powerful reminder that no matter the hurdles, with determination and self-belief, anything is achievable. 19. Gabriel Estêvão Monjane, the tallest man in the world. Gabriel Estêvão Monjane, the tallest man in the world from Mozambique, was more than just a towering presence. He embodied resilience and incredible determination. Standing at 8 feet 1 inch, 2.46 meters, Gabriel amazed the world. But beneath his height was a deeper story, one filled with struggles against societal expectations and personal challenges, which he transformed into a source of unmatched strength. As a child, Gabriel never envisioned becoming an iconic figure. His extraordinary height made everyday activities difficult, from sitting at school desks to walking through doorways. The cruel looks and teasing from peers often caused him pain. But instead of succumbing to these hardships, Gabriel chose to embrace his uniqueness as a driving force in his life. Rather than merely accepting his height, he sought to make it a key to his success. At 22, Gabriel began competing in strength and athletic events. His height, often seen as a disadvantage, became a distinct advantage, allowing him to excel in physical challenges. His long legs and towering stature, combined with strength and agility, left spectators in awe. However, Gabriel's true battle wasn't in competition, but in reshaping societal perceptions of his difference. During one major contest, he faced a challenge that many thought impossible for someone of his size. But with determination and skill, Gabriel triumphed, demonstrating that uniqueness wasn't a weakness but a source of great power. Gabriel's story is a testament to the power of embracing one's differences and turning them into strengths. Like many remarkable individuals, he faced great challenges but overcame them with determination. His journey proves that being different is not a flaw, it's an extraordinary strength. What do you think of these powerful stories? Share your thoughts and subscribe for more inspiring tales of remarkable individuals.